Education is the key that opens doors to opportunity, equality, and progress.
But what is the foundation of the Philippine education system? And what are the laws and policies that have shaped its evolution? How do they continue to guide the future of the millions of Filipino students?
The roots of formal education in the Philippines stretch back to the Spanish colonial era, when education was controlled by the church and focused on religious instruction. Only a few privileged Filipinos had access to formal schooling. The education system expanded under American rule in the early 1900s, introducing public schooling and the English language as a medium of instruction.
In 1901, the Philippine Commission passed the Philippine Bill of 1902, creating a public school system. The Bureau of Education was established and American teachers, known as the Pharmacides, were sent to the Philippines to teach. Public education became more widespread, but it was still limited in scope and in access.
After the Philippines gained independence in 1946, the country began to reform and expand its education system. The goal was clear: provide every Filipino child with access to quality education. The Education Act of 1940 was one of the first significant laws in this period, making elementary education free and compulsory. However, access to education remained limited, especially in rural areas. The need for educational reform was becoming more apparent. In 1987, the Philippine Constitution was amended to provide a stronger foundation for education, enshrining it as a fundamental right for all Filipinos. This was a new era of educational reform, following the country's return to democracy.
Article 14 of the 1987 Constitution guarantees the right of all students and citizens to access better quality of education. The state mandated to provide free education at elementary to secondary level, as well as to make higher education more accessible to qualified students.
To guide the country's education system, the Education Act of 1982, Batas Pambansa bilang 232, introduced the framework for governance and management of education in the Philippines. This landmark law reorganized the education sector, creating the Department of Education, DepEd, the Commission on Higher Education, CHED, and the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, TESDA, to oversee different levels of education. It emphasized the importance of decentralizing education management, giving local school boards more autonomy to ensure schools met the needs of their communities. Republic Act 4670, known as the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, which was enacted in 1966 to protect and promote the rights and welfare of public school teachers in the Philippines. Specifically, this law aims to promote the professional and personal welfare of public school teachers, improve the quality of education in the country by supporting teachers with better working conditions, necessary teaching materials and training to enhance their skills and competencies, guarantee job security, encourage the equitable distribution of teachers to various regions, and uphold the dignity and respect for the teaching profession. In 2013, the Philippine education system underwent one of its most significant reforms, the introduction of the K-12 program, which extended the basic education cycle from 10 years to 12 years.
The Enhanced Basic Education of 2013 or the Republic Act 10533 implemented the K-12 program, which included kindergarten, junior high, and senior high school. The reform aimed to align the Philippines' education with the international standards, better preparing the students for the workforce, entrepreneurship, and higher education.
The K-12 program was designed to develop not just academic knowledge, but also the skills and competencies needed in the real world, ensuring that Filipino students are well equipped for the future.
The world of education changed dramatically in 2020 with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. In response, the Philippine government passed new laws and issued policies to continue education during a global crisis. The Open Distance Learning Act, Republic Act number 11510, signed in 2020, paved the way for online and modular learning systems to support students in remote areas and those who could not attend school in person. The Learning Continuity Plan issued by the Department of Education in Depth Order number 32S 2020 enabled schools to continue learning using alternative delivery modes such as online learning, TV, and radio-based instructions, and modular education. The legal foundations of education in the Philippines continue to evolve as the country faces new challenges and opportunities in the 21st century. The Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028 emphasizes the importance of education and nation building, highlighting the need for digital literacy, inclusive education, and sustainable learning environments. As technology, globalization, and social change continue to transform society, the legal framework guiding Philippine education must adapt to ensure that every Filipino has the opportunity to learn and thrive.
In today's generation, where each of the perspectives needs an ear to listen, to every view needs to be out of each other's mind, we value our students' line of view in the field of education. Knowing their perspective might be the one of the most influential views and can make a difference in our educational system. Hello po, good afternoon. Ano pong pangalan niyo?
Hi, I'm Jen Mariel Embubal po.
My name is Roxy.
Sam.
Sugori Bensimalan.
Sa iyong palagay, paano tinitiyak na legal na sistema na ang lahat ng mga mag-aaral, lalo na yung mga nasa laylayan o yung mahihirap na lugar, ay may access sa edukasyon sa panahon ninyo ngayon?
As of now, wala akong gaanong nakikita na ginagawa yung gobyerno para matulungan yung mga estudyante sa laylayan na buhay. Ang masasabi ko na lang dyan is, they do their best na matulungan sila mag-provide ng mga kailangan nila. Pero, I think, mahirap pa rin sabihin na malaki yung nabibigay nila or natutulungan nila yung mga estudyante kasi lalo, tulad na yung mga nasa kabundukan, ganyan. Pero, alam mo yung nakikita natin na hindi nila fully natutulungan sila pero may temporary na nagagawa sila para sa mga estudyante na sa laylayan. Yun lang.
Sa saligang batas kasi, may mga nakasaad na karapatan ng bawat Pilipino ay yung makapag-aral. So, may mga batas na nagbibigay ng libreng kolehiyo sa mga public school. Pero may mga programa rin ng mga DepEd at CHED na libre para sa mga elementary at high school students. Pero sabi nga dito, tinutulungan din nila yung mga katutubo at mga mahihirap para makapag-aral.
For me, I don't see any actions from the government, lalo na sa mga nasa under ng DepEd circumstance kasi even yung mga appliances for rooms like electric fan and TV is nanggagaling sa funds by PTA. So wala talaga ko nakikita any actions and any improvements. And then for further naman na projects, wala din akong nakikita. Instead dun sa book ni Miss Vicky, yun nga.
Pwede ko siya masabi sa pagbibigay ng mga libreng modular works and sa pagbibigay ng mga libreng school appliances such as pencils, markers, and erasers.
Sa iyong palagay, sapat na ba ang mga ginagawa ng gobyerno upang gawing mas madaling makuha ang edukasyon ng mga mag-aaral mula sa mahihirap na pamilya? Bakit o bakit hindi?
Para sa akin, hindi ulit. Kasi sabihin natin na may mga free education tayo dito pero hindi siya fully free. Kasi libreng pag-aaral pero paano yung mga kailangan ng mga estudyante like school supplies, uniform, and kahit yung simpleng pampasok lang nila na sapatos. So, hindi ko masasabi na natutulungan nila yung mga ganong bagay. Parang ano lang siya, free education pero hindi fully free. Ganon.
May mga programa ang gobyerno pero marami pa ring problema. Hindi lahat ng mahihirap na pamilya ay nakakabenepisyo ng buo dahil kulang ang mga paaralan at pasilidad at minsan hindi magandang kalidad ng pagtuturo, lalo na sa malalayong lugar. So, bagamat malaking tulong ang libreng tuition at scholarships, hindi pa rin ito sapat para sa mga dagdag at gastusin tulad ng pamasahe at school supplies.
Hindi. Kasi, as I said na, wala akong nakitang any action. So, paano pa yung mga nasa laylayan? I mean, kung CHED pa lang is nahihirapan na now, lalo na sa hybrid learning, kasi until now ginagawa pa rin naman siya, hindi pa tayo nakakaalis doon. Hindi pa rin na yung fully F2F na classes. So, paano pa yung mga nasa lower schools na binibigyan na ng modulars? So, paano yun? And yung iba na malayo yung tinatravel papuntang school?
Depende kasi. Since parang nasa gitna ako, since may mga parts ng Pilipinas na wala kasing possible point of reach ng government to supply let's say mga modular works and stuff, since let's say matataas sa lugar or let's say flooded yung area nila, ganun.
Para sa panghuling tanong, ano sa tingin mo ang papel na ginagampanan ng Konstitusyon ng Pilipinas sa paghubog ng sistema ng edukasyon ng bansa?
Ang konstitusyon ang nagsasabi na karapatan ng bawat Pilipino ang makapag-aral at mas obligasyon at may obligasyon ng mga gobyerno na magbigay ng libreng edukasyon sa elementarya at high school. Dito rin nanggagaling ang mga batas at pulisiya para mapagbuti ang sistema ng edukasyon tulad ng Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act.
This documentary script offers an in-depth yet accessible narrative of the legal basis of the Philippine education system. It highlights key laws and reforms that have shaped the educational landscape, showing how the system has evolved over time to meet the needs of its citizens. The story is told through a combination of historical context, visual storytelling, and expert narration, making it both narrative and engaging.
Thank you pa.